Well, welcome to the BASES updated studio. We've got some soundproofing and we're going to be able to hopefully do a little bit more. I'm booming back from somewhere anyway. The point is, just to reiterate, this is the 22nd of June. This is a week before we would have been holding this. These are the unused tickets which are abandoned for the full weekend of 29th of June, which is cancelled. This was cancelled for two reasons. One, our host decided to get a job somewhere else, and that's up to her. Nobody's under any contracts here. It's all sort of voluntary, sort of nod and a wink and stuff like that. But we're hopefully that she'll be onward and upward in her career as an actress. And the bottom line is that when the phone calls, you take the job. So, but the other reasons was that our colleagues in the Alternative View were holding a conference up in Stroud on the 28th. And that meant that my colleague Matthew, who does a huge amount of help doing these conferences in terms of rigging a lot of the acoustics and the sound and stuff like that, because it involves hands putting plugs in right place. That makes the difference between a rig and a whole day of mucking about. You need more hands, and more hands with something behind them that knows what they're doing makes a huge amount of help. And it's a huge rig to do that for a couple of days. But the bottom line is that I could feel the way the wind was blowing, and when you are printing something, or when you print posters and immediately you've done that, something happens to undermine that, that's a big alarm bell. And in my experience, the best thing to do is do a go around. We can always put conferences on at other times. The only reason we were doing it in June, which is the beginning of the peak tourist season, is the hall became available. They offered it. I took the option on that. It wasn't going to work out. So at the end of May, I decided that that's it. We're not going to do it. So we pulled it. Now today, which is the 22nd of February, I don't know why I'm saying February, the 22nd of June, there's been a number of very important things happened this morning here on the 22nd of June. Now I've interrupted myself. This is the whole point about this thing. The whole point is that when things weren't going to work out, pull it. Right? That's it. Don't prevaricate. Don't drag it on for another couple of weeks or whatever it is. So give people as much time as possible. So today I met a very good friend, and he's wasn't aware that the event had been cancelled. So just to reiterate, 25th BASES 2025 summer seminars, which were to be held on the 28th and 29th of June, are cancelled. Now we have two guests coming here. Two of the speakers are coming here anyway. One of them is Miriam Yance. She's had a huge amount of success with her videos, which I'm very happy to edit for her. And she's coming here with a new car. And I'm going to be putting a warning out here, because people are fucking about here. Okay? So anyway, the point about that is cancelled. Parts of that will be held at other times of the year. Miriam's coming, and Selena is coming from Norway. Miriam's coming from Amsterdam, Holland. And she'll be doing a number of sessions to help people out. And that's what she does. She does sessions. And she's a healer and empath and that sort of thing. So she's going to be in town, so to speak. And we're going to be going down doing certain things. I'm not going to pre-announce all that stuff, because two very nasty events have happened quite recently. This involves V2k mind control. Now, the technique is that you're driving your car, and suddenly somebody in front or behind, or something which is going to cause an accident, happens. And you've got to really be sharp on this. Now, what's been going on with myself is I've been tailgate followed repeatedly all over the place. And then, interestingly, as you come into a little village or something, that tailgating vehicle seems to disappear. Now, there are certain techniques that you do if you're being tailgated, being followed. People match your speed and aggressively follow you all over the place. I've been aware of that since, you know, decades when I had hair doing the pirates and stuff like that. And so there are techniques that you use, and you don't tell people what techniques you use. Simon Parkes would probably be aware of that. So the bottom line is that Kerry Cassidy, so just sticking to this being tracked, what's happened this morning is a very nice girl, very nice friend. She's been a friend of Bases and mine and the team here for a very long time, and she was going to drop down Sunday afternoon to say hello, and it was very nice. She was involved with an accident which involved a driver which was behaving madly, which involved her being hit, sideswiped on a motorway, and that's caused her to pull over. Her car was damaged, which means they create enough just to piss you off, cause you damage. This has happened with another person where another person was on a roundabout, and the person concerned appeared to be out of their head or mad. And I've been followed from Chippenham Station where somebody is driving the car like a robot and they're tailgating, and I've actually stopped the car, gone out, and the guy's just sitting there in a daze. And then this lasted several minutes, and then this guy suddenly goes into another control mode, reverses the car and drives on. And the individual concerned don't know why they're doing that. Their mind is literally being taken over. And essentially, I'm calling this, I'm flagging up the use of V2k weapons. They are weapons, and they're being used to cause trouble, accidents, and ultimately would be also used to kill you and to cause you have a lethal car accident. I've had a number of those episodes. I won't go into it today, but I'm just putting this out as an alert that they are using V2k weapons to cause you injury or impede your progress, or just cause you a lot of financial woes or whatever. So I'm flagging this up, and I'm saying that Miles Johnson is annoyed about this. That's it. I'm annoyed. You might be able to hear the rain. It's now pouring with rain here, very humid. So the point about it is that this morning this person has had to go back home, and they're having a lot of trouble as well, because the usual techniques of when you want to grind down an employee are being used. You make mistakes, or you maliciously make mistakes at a management level and then blame it on the employee. And now that kind of thing, again, that annoys me. Okay, something that doesn't annoy me is the beautiful Monique Klinkerberger, I think that's her name. She's running the Crop Circle Exhibition Centre, and I've just returned from there. And this is the Crop Circle, which is sunflower, and that was at Pottern. Now, the point about that is a beautiful field, and this was all, I think at the time, I think it was the beautiful yellow flowers of oilseed rape. Right, now the point about that is, these petals you couldn't properly see the other side of the crop circle. Now the point about that is, we met a very, very fine lady who has done some researches this time last week when I'll show you some images from that. We had the beautiful Maria Wheatley, absolutely on form. Welcome to this beautiful place called the Lighthouse. It's right on the coast, but do bring your own food. It's a wonderful venue. Here, Wheatley, I understand that you've been invited to speak at this lighthouse place. Is this on the coast of southwest Wales or some other location?
Well, we're not far from New Grant, and it's a beautiful setting. It's a marquee. You've got lots of people interested in UFOs.
Excuse me, is that the marquee from Star Trek?
I think there is a TARDIS here and a Thunderbird. So
where's the Thunderbird?
Oh yes, it's Thunderbird, the green
Two.
one.
They got the green. They have a Thunderbirds are go here.
Yeah, Thunderbirds are go here.
Where's that?
And I'll be talking in a moment on the healing power of standing stones, my latest research, and backdating a little bit to energy lines and how standing stones can change earth energy into aerial energy, some of which is healing.
Oh, brilliant. So we all need a bit of that, don't we?
So, how do these standing stones stand up all the time? I mean, surely they must sit down on occasion. And with that, we leave it there.
That's a good question.
Changing, okay? I'm not really that political, but I'm just going to start off with things are changing at Avebury. You've got wardens now walking around like Nazis with a question on their back saying, ask me a question, yeah? Then at Glastonbury Abbey,
Well, here we are at this beautiful lighthouse resort. You have weddings and places to stay, even a converted lifeboat. And this is all artificial, all these stones. It's like a massive dike, and it saves an awful lot of farmland. And we've got England over there. So the other side of the Severn estuary, and what's across there is the Severn Sea. The sea of the river Severn. Severn. Anyway, this has been a really excellent conference. It's very attentive, very good people. It's a wonderful atmosphere, but do bring your own food. They have nothing here. And it's a wonderful place to just have a nice day. And not too far from Wiltshire. It takes about an hour. And it's a wonderful, real lighthouse. Of course, it's not in use, but it's a wonderful place to be. There's several of these types of lighthouses across England and Wales. As the coastline changes, large areas are reclaimed, like where those cows are. So, completely different place to come. And there's even Doctor Who. And Ben Emlyn Jones, he was yawning like hell. Now, I've done a bit of a joke on that with Ben, but he's excessively yawning. That's not a good thing for anybody. And we went to the lighthouse at Urs, I think it's URS, near Newport. And it's a wonderful venue. We had a very nice time there. Everybody there really great. Just a wonderful, wonderful, nice venue. And that was great. So we've done that wonderful thing in Wales near Newport. Those wonderful pictures of being there. It was really. I just decided. Look, I promoted Ben Emlyn Jones going there, and the beautiful Maria Wheatley. Now Maria is really going very, very advanced on the megalithic stuff. Long time ago, there's an organization called RILCO, Research into Lost Knowledge, and this was held in central London, I think in the Friends meeting houses in, I think it was that, in central London. Again, the wonderful Margaret Novakovic was involved with that. I always called her Novakovic, but she ran a whole thing on crop circles for a long time, and she's a very fine lady. There was a gentleman there, a very elderly gentleman, who'd done an awful lot of mathematics on the megaliths. And the basic principle here is that the placement and the relative positions of megaliths, of whatever different design or type, these have got such a complex level of mathematics involved that those who put them there must have an off-world interdimensional technology, a basis of of technology. Now, this is confirmed with John Irwin's work. That's to say that when he joined the 16 way back in 1957, cutting to the chase, the data banks that they then eventually recovered at the end of his tour of duty in the Middle East, when they got these ancient data banks which had information which realigns the gates that the megaliths use. So there are portals at some of the megaliths, and they are on physical 3D in a world and planet, i.e. they were spinning around at so many miles and varying all over the place. It's constantly moving. That physical gate, this technology provided the physical adjustments to align the interdimensional gate, which took you wherever, Stargate, with the physical rocks that sit on the ground in the physical world here in 3D. Now, that the whole point about this is that those who've studied or listened to Richard C. Hoagland's work on lunar artifacts, that's to say large constructed buildings and structures on the surface of the moon. Now, his official narrative is Apollo 12 did go there. Anybody else, I'm saying it didn't, but we were already there already, but that's SSP stuff. But the point is that Maria has been doing extremely important work in terms of the electrical energy field and translation of optical red light when the sun sets, that the stones are frequency converting the energy of a setting sun into acoustic waves, which can then be heard. Now, very interesting, I've had a wee chat with the beautiful Claire, and Claire is a very lovely lady, very good friend going back to Sky TV, and she just happened to mention on the phone today on how wonderfully acoustic the area where Stonehenge is. And you see, that's not a coincidence either, because we've been talking about this with Maria Wheatley. Maria Wheatley's on form. She's doing all sorts of research. So what we're dealing with here with the megaliths is we're dealing with very complicated energy waves of electric field and acoustic wave technology and waves. Now that kind of things, we've been misled by using electromagnetic technology, which of course was brought in all this Einstein crap, and that kind of stuff is a way of tying us with an electromagnetic wave which has got certain constants and limitations. However, if you are dealing with acoustic waves or scalar energetics, that is not limited by the speed of light, and this gives you a whole range of access to a whole pile of technologies and things. And I didn't say Tartarian technology or Tesla. Now, I've got a book here. It's called The Exploring the Future of Media Technology. Now, the point about this photograph, you've got to watch these hints. I mean, for instance, at the other end, at the other side of this, there's a guy wearing these goggles for, so you'll see the goggles. What they're pushing here is the cyborgization of humanity. And on the front page of this, the cloud, the backbone of broadcasting, cloud special. Now, anybody who's studying anything, anybody who has ever edited anything, if you are actually paying attention, the one thing you never do, of course I do it all the time, is have your computer plugged into the network, because they will see what you're editing, they'll know what you're doing, and they'll muck things up for you. And that was happening with me when I was editing for the Francis Bacon Society. And they even asked me, Miles, is your computer having problems? And the answer to that was yes, a lot of problems, because there was something within the Francis Bacon material which was mucking up the computers. So why would Francis Bacon, everything seems to be going back to Francis Bacon. And that brings you back to the original arrival of these, Chris Thomas mentioned this. You've got to get into Chris Thomas's work. I've mentioned it before, that's basis, I think, 6 or 7. No, Dave Marrow is basis 7. Dave Marrow has been re-alerted to the whole sort of stuff going on there. This is only meant to be about a 3-minute bloody show, and I hope it's bloody recording. So there's an awful lot going on. When the premier broadcast magazine gives you your spine and things going up and down your spine, because in the alien world, things can wrap round your spine. and they take control of you. Just like Stargate and all that sort of stuff. So the cloud special, the last thing you ever want to do is put your stuff onto somebody else's servers, your proprietary exclusive material. Oh, put it on the cloud. It'll be safe there. Oh, yeah. So they know what you're doing. They have backdoors into your computer. They have backdoors and hacking in the cloud. And there's even there's been some alerts about 45% of hacking into your systems are coming through the cloud. People, all computers have to have backdoors, so the NSA, everybody else with an intelligence agency, the Chinese who make the motherboards, all have access to your computer. They can all get in there, and now for instance, my phone is being put onto the web. In other words, it's not plugged into BT's copper wires. Oh, it's the same copper wires that go into the modem. But it's the modem that's getting access to the phone, and I'm getting all sorts of weird phone calls and things. And I've had to go through BT. So all of these things are being hacked by everybody doing everything. Yet, if you are an editor and you are a frontier journalist, or you're just any kind of a journalist, and you have an exclusive, you want to keep it an exclusive, which means you don't put it on the bloody internet so everybody in Tom, Dick and Harry can see the damn thing. Anybody listening here? Is there anybody listening here? The worst thing you can do with your proprietary material is put it on the bloody cloud. Now, on the back page, we've got a man wearing big goggles. Have you seen those sort of things before, like greys? And I'm getting agitated here. So that's enough about the magazine called Feedback, the feed, and all these gormless people in broadcasting really do think it's all in our interests. And there we have, and you see this guy, he's putting his hand up like that in this ad. Anyway, that's that. Okay, we've had a hissy fit and a tantrum over people being accessed, causing road accidents using V2k. That's not happy about that. And when Miles Johnson says he's not happy about it, those doing it had better stop. Now, the other reason about this crop circle is that the field that this crop circle was put on was made, and we know the people who made it. A, we find that there were greys involved, underground, and B, they're putting solar panels on it. And C, I was talking to certain individuals within the last week, and they agree with my analysis that the solar panels are there to feed underground bases because there's going to be an energy situation where they're going to need to get power which is not coming from the national grid. And I don't think solar panels are going to work too well when the hailstorms and all sort of things and heavy weather goes. The crucial thing about Elon Musk was a couple of weeks ago when he gave a presentation to everybody at SpaceX at the launch site, was they're going to need to launch these things, a lot of them, and they're going to need to launch them every 2 hours because there's going to be a situation, could be a situation where they're not going to be, to establish a facility on Mars, independent civilization on Mars. And of course, 30 years ago, we were talking about Richard Dolan and all those guys. 2010, which is 25 years ago, we were talking about a breakaway civilization. Well, isn't that just a coincidence that the recording broke cleanly when I said breakaway civilization? Could have broken at any other time, but anyway, we'll have to see if this is actually recording on this time. Anyway, this is a Stonehenge mug. This is code, secret code. Maria Wheatley's doing a heck of a lot of really good work. We're planning some shows in this studio thing, and we'll know about that when it happens. Breakaway civilization. There's lots of stuff happening. I've just had a number of phone calls Bob Osborne. You know, there's some people saying, I think some woman called Prichard or something, saying that James Casbolt is dead. Well, he's been being interviewed by Bob Osborne, and he's making his CDs. Although people need to buy the CDs, I think we'll have to figure out how to sell them. I think it's all going to go on the cloud, or the relevant apps that you buy these things with. The plan is to see how it's going. As I say, Miriam is coming here pretty soon. Selena is coming here in a week. So things are going to get busy here, and that's why we have got this new look to the studio. And we'll see how that goes. And this V2k attack thing, an awful lot of budget has been expended, people following me and all that. That's been going on for a very long time. I put a wee joke on it because my local, I don't live here in Devizes. According to my internet, I live in Cirencester. So I've put a little bit of a joke on the edit about being bugged via Cirencester. Now, why would we be bugged in Gloucestershire via Cirencester? There's no way that would involve any kind of secret underground alien bases or whatever it is. Anyway, might get a haircut. So this is sort of a blog. We had a really, really nice time at that conference. That was a very nice conference a week ago. Disturbed that Ben is overly sleeping. He's just come back to the United States. He'd had a very nice time with another one of these individuals who have broken from under the rock since James has reappeared. And Christine Joanna Hart, she is talking to Bob, and she is, as I say, is another character who's suddenly appeared. The other news is that Sarah Adams will be meet and greet at the Full Disclosure Now conference, which is now only a couple of weeks away. I was speaking with Kerry Cassidy this morning. I'll be at her conference 5th and I think the weekend of 5th and 6th, or the 4th and 5th, or whatever the hell it is, first weekend of July. I'm going to be speaking there. Simon Parks will be there, and all the usual suspects. As I say, Bases 2025 will be happening in one form or another during the course of the year. The main reason, another reason I pulled the conference was that we're not communicating effectively with the right audience. Some people just think it's a meet and greet, and we get pissed and have a nice time. The content that we've been trying to get across is too serious. As I say, this morning, very nice girl, very nice lady, was hit on the road with somebody under the control of malicious external nasty people, and I'm getting very annoyed about that. She doesn't have too much in way of money and things to afford, and then with my car, just got a new bumper on it, V2k, somebody reversed straight back into it, caused the best part of £1,000 worth of damage, straight back into brand new bumper, all the paint work, and that was done. That was settled. I think there's still probably damage in there with the air conditioning. That's £1,000 to rebuild a whole air conditioning condenser, because they have to be handmade. These sort of things, the way these people want to play it, there's always consequences. There's always consequences to these things. And I do nothing. I just sit and have a coffee out of a Stonehenge mug. That's all I ever do. It's getting cold now. I just sit back and drink a cup of coffee. Don't do anything else. I'll have another drink of a Stonehenge. You've got a woman on her own, another few women on their own, driving their cars, and you send these fucking shit for brains after them. And the person who does it doesn't know they've done it because you've done it. I'll say some words when I pull this mic out,